Hey, what's up? This is Jarod Gray with my co-host D Clutch Russ 72 and Nino Brown _ T2T. Head to head. What's up? Gonna talk some big hot or not, and we're gonna talk some squatty potty fellas. So, Nino, how you doing?
I'm good, man. You know, always excited to get in this IDP episode every week with you guys. It's been a pleasure so far. And, you know, I love when we get to the squatty potty because you get to flush them out, right? Flush the turds out.
Yeah, I totally messed up on our thing. We're episode 12 this week, and I didn't change that. So that's my fault. Clutch, how are you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have 2 wins in a row. We're almost on a winning streak. I'm getting excited. I mean, it's better than what your team's got going here all of a sudden.
I'm on a streak, too. I will put it this way. I don't know if I've ever been since 96 or something. I haven't been, I think that's the longest time we've had a losing streak of 3.
Yeah.
It's been that long, which is
I feel your pain.
Hey, I haven't said a word. I've given it a break. I haven't said anything about the losing streak.
I had low expectations, and then they teased me with us absolutely romping Nebraska and everybody, but we didn't get on the plane after Nebraska. We just stayed there.
You really want to use Nebraska as your measuring?
Yeah,
what? Well, bro, I mean, that's the last time that's what I'm telling you. Like, we played, I mean, defense looked phenomenal. Offense looked good. You know, we haven't done a thing since then. So that's why I can say we didn't get off the bus.
Yeah.
You know, at any other place. Like, we just stayed in Nebraska. We ain't even come home yet. Like, and now we got Kansas, who should be undefeated, to be honest with you. But
I can't say nothing to you because my guys lost 2 in a row. You know, all of a sudden Will's in a boot and we're losing 2 in a row. And I don't know. Now I'm worried about falling out the top 25.
You know, and that's the problem when you lose Will Levis. Kind of like we lost Dylan Gabriel. I mean, that didn't help, but I mean we were already getting stomped. Yeah. And Dylan Gabriel, don't get me wrong, I think he's a decent quarterback. I just don't think that he lets it rip when he needs to. And it'll all be good next year when Jackson Arnold shows up. That's just how I feel. All right.
Hey,
go ahead.
No, I was like, I hear you. It's all about next year, right?
All right, straight head to head. We're gonna get top 5 guys from each of us that really like show it out, and then we're gonna do our squatty potty squad, not so 5 from each of us. Nino, you've got a guy that you've been kind of trashing, all offseason. Finally showed up. Let's hear your list.
I had to do it. I literally just elbow dropped you last week from top rope saying that if he didn't show up, it was time for him to get tossed. So my first guy is going to be, here he is, Montez Sweat. I guess he must have heard me. His ears must have been ringing. I don't know, but he balled out. This is the Montez Sweat we're used to seeing. 6 tackles, 5 solo, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits. He was on the field for 66% snaps, and in standard fantasy had 23.8 points. And then a guy that I was huge on, and he was dropping stinkers after stinkers, was DeForest Buckner. Had a great game this week. 8 tackles, 4 solo tackles, 2 sacks. He had a tackle for loss, 2 QB hits, and a pass defense. He was on the field for 81% of the snaps. In standard leagues, he had 21 points. The Rook, Kaiir Elam for Buffalo, surprised me a lot. Played 100% of snaps in his first game starting. 10 tackles, 7 solo, an interception, and a pass defense. And then my boy Judon out of New England came around, making buzz again. 3 tackles, 2 solo, 2 sacks, a tackle for loss, 4 QB hits, and a forced fumble. He was on the field 55% of the snaps. He had 18 points. And this gentleman has 2 weeks in a row. I think this is the week he deserves his roses. It's Tariq Woolen from Seattle, cornerback. And 4 tackles, 4 solo, a pick, 1 pass defense, 1 fumble recovery, and he was on the field for 100% snaps for 16 points. So those are my 5. Let me know what you got.
I love you brought Woolen into it. I think that they need a cornerback to step up. They've been riddled with injuries. They didn't try to change much in the offseason. And my guy, Trey Brown, from OU. My birthday brother. We share the same birthday. He got injured. He hasn't played at all. So that's tough to watch a decent room just riddled with injuries. I mean, their entire defensive backs are just destroyed. Montez Sweat, you know me, I'm a dude, like I love him. Broke his jaw last year. That dude's had a crazy, story in general, to be honest. He could have a 30 for 30 with everything that he's just from pre-draft and all that stuff. Love him. I've always been a guy, like he's been on my list. He's been on one of my first rookie list. DeForest Buckner showed up again finally, like doing what he's supposed to do, what we expect out of him. Besley told Quiddy Pay to get on the bench, and I'm here now. Like I'm healthy. Kaiir Elam, I love Kaiir Elam. Just it's cool to see him step up. Can't believe he was tested that much. They obviously didn't watch his college tape because that he's a dude. So
he's gonna get tested again this week too. Against KC.
100%. But who's KC's leading receiver? I'll tell you.
Tied in.
Yeah, they're tied in. It's Kelsey. It's all it is. So, yeah, Shane. T2T.
Yeah.
Matt Judon might be one of the best floor defensive ends in football. I said it last week. I'll say it again this week. He's one of the best edge rushers in football, floor-wise for fantasy. You're probably going to have a sack out of him every week. And, a couple solo tackles. I mean, let's play 55% of snaps and do what he did.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, leave him out there. Like, what do you mean? Like, what more am I going to tell you? I mean,
so, thing about Judon is when he came to New England, I was a little skeptical because Baltimore's a type of team that are smart, get out ahead of things, kind of how the Patriots used to be. So I figured they knew something we didn't know. Like, is this guy like a dog? Did he lose a step? And I don't think he lost a step at all.
What they knew, they'd had to pay his ass if he just because that dude can play. I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, he's. You know what? One of my favorite things about Matt Judon, he's always wearing red sleeves. Like exactly where that dude is every week, and that's pretty awesome to me. Like it's just one of those things. Okay, let's get to my man Russ. Russ, what you got for your 5?
My 5, I'm going to start off with Damian Wilson, Carolina linebacker, 33 fantasy points, 7 solo, 9 total tackles, 3 tackle for loss. Got himself a sack and a forced fumble. One of the guys I've been high on was pretty low on, I think, last time with Cole Holcomb. He finally redeems himself a little bit. Linebacker out of Washington, 29 fantasy points, 11 solos, 15 total tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. I also had Montez Sweat, so I won't go over his numbers. We've already done that. And then is it Deshaun Elliott, DB out of Detroit, 39 fantasy points, 10 solos, 12 total, 3 tackle for loss, got you a pass breakup and an interception. And another guy that was on kind of the squatty potty squad here a couple weeks ago, Delaney Hunter, Minnesota defensive lineman. He finally shows up a little bit, 23 fantasy points, 5 solos, 6 totals, 2 tackle for loss, and a sack. So kind of some guys that we were down on a couple weeks ago kind of redeemed themselves. I don't know if that's going to be a consistent thing for a couple of those guys. I hope it is, but for the other ones, they're not on my team.
All right, so here's my question with Holcomb and Sweat, right? They haven't played very well. They balled out. Is it because of who they played?
Well, right.
I mean, you stack the box, you go after Derek. Like, let's go see how many tackles we can get against Derrick Henry, right? Who, again, right now, I think he's number 1 or 2 in rush attempts. So I think I think he's 1. I think 2 is Nick Chubb, and 3 is Saquon. Which, I'll be honest with you, every time I'm playing one of those teams, I'm going to look for somebody that I can play. Like, I will even make a small trade, like, hey, maybe I should go look at this guy. What can I do? So that's my biggest question. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, a little surprised with Jonathan Allen, though. I mean, I got Max Crosby. He's got a bye week next week, so I needed somebody. So I picked me up some Jonathan Allen, and he didn't show out very well. And I thought he'd do pretty good there right in the middle, tackling Derrick Henry, but that wasn't the case. But hopefully he does it this coming week when I need him to. So
you mentioned Max real quick. He had what, 2 more last night, right? They had 2 more sacks.
Dude, he is the MVP right now. Defensive MVP right now.
I just told somebody that last night. It's like, no, it's Nick Bosa. I'm like, listen,
no,
you're Nick Bosa fan.
No.
I get that. Crosby has more solo tackles than Nick Bosa has tackles.
Yeah, dude, he's insane.
He had more tackles for a loss than Nick Bosa has tackles. So he got another 4 last night. Like,
right.
Mind blown. So, and now he's tied for the lead, right? In sacks.
Yeah. That was in the first half. His 2 sacks were in the first half.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, I mean, I can't get anybody to, I mean, we've been on the train. And week 1, he had no sacks and 8 solos.
Right.
Like, he's having the year that Danielle Hunter was having, and maybe better. I mean, this dude has what? 14 tackles for losses already? 14. Dude, we're week 5.
I don't even understand how he's not getting doubled. Like, I would throw everybody at it. Like, they just
here's the issue, right? Chandler Jones on the other side wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just blow him off. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
you're right.
Bro.
Yeah. No, I like Russ's list. I'm gonna call it the redemption tour list because a lot of those guys we were ready to write them off. Right? They were like they came out of the toilet, peeked out, and said, "We're here."
I mean, he's just there rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Needs to have that baby though, so he don't miss no games. Bye week. It's time for that baby to come out.
Yeah, it's just funny to see that. There's a few guys I think we're buy low on, and we'll talk to them in a second, or they might be a fire sale type of guys. All right, we're going to get to me. We'll talk about my 5 guys. First one, which I'm kind of glad you guys left off my group, to be honest with you, is Bradley Chubb, because that dude's balling. 7 total tackles, tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits, 2.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. He just keeps showing up as he should. He looks like rookie year Bradley Chubb. Let's be real here. Aaron Donald finally shows up after week 1. Like, he ain't done nothing for 4 weeks. I've been trying to buy low on him, and I still think he's a buy low, or anyway, or just a buy 1 year. He's a 1-year guy for me, because if they don't right the ship, he's retiring. I'm in this mood right now. I feel like it might be a farewell tour for him and Tom Brady, because he had 6 total tackles, tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, and forced fumble. And I can't gripe about that. Now we're going to talk about somebody that I've been hating on, and I've had reason to hate on, and came up and balled all of a sudden, is Fred Warner. 9 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, a sack, and a pass deflection. Fred Warner played like he's supposed to play, like what we expect out of Fred Warner. Hey, we paid you, like, come play. And that's what we're getting. A guy that I'm really happy to have on this list, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, safety of Philadelphia, came over there from New Orleans. We really expected him to just do this. Like, this is in New Orleans. He had points where when Von Bell got hurt, he'd come in and he'd ball out, and then he'd go quiet because they put him in nickel safety, and he's more covering people instead of playing safety like he's supposed to. 10 total tackles, tackle for loss, pass deflection, an interception, an absolute butt whooping this weekend. You can't gripe about what he's doing. I mean, that's what we want to see, right? I think we agree. A guy that's been balling the last 2 weeks, and he's been the waiver wire pickup of the week last week. If not last week, you definitely picked him up this week because he did 2 weeks in a row. Zach Allen, 8 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, a sack, another pass deflection. He got like 3 against Baker last week. So I can't gripe about that. Those are the numbers that he's putting up right there, are the numbers we are seeing from Max Crosby week to week. So, guys, how do you feel about that? And what's up?
I like it. I've always been a big Bradley Chubb guy, and it seems like he's kind of underperformed to some degree. And even when they had Von Miller and stuff, and then got injured and battled through all that. So I'm really glad to see that. I've been a big fan of him. Fred Warner, like you said, that's to be expected. And actually, the Charlie Gardner-Johnson, I just picked him up in another league probably like 3 weeks ago. And yeah, that's starting to finally pay some dividends.
I mean, you know what's going to happen here, right? We're going to get off here, or even Nino's doing it right now. We're playing our IDP league. He's like, oh, this guy's on the wire. Check. Right. I mean, about every week on Wednesday, I just see this massive wire process from Nino where he's got 5 new players. But we talked about last week.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I'm still thinking, would you take Jonathan Allen this week over Zach Allen? Or would you? No?
Who does the Cardinals play?
The Seahawks.
Kenneth Walker, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenneth Walker, dude. Hey,
yeah.
and
got him too
from now on.
So I got a question.
Wait, real quick, who does Jonathan Allen play this week?
Jonathan Allen. They play the Bears.
Ooh.
Washington versus the Bears. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I went with Jonathan Allen.
Oh, man, both are juicy. I like both of them.
I might have to go Jonathan Allen in that one only because the Bears are anemic.
I mean, Geno Smith still gets sacked twice a game. So
I know, but but their offense is better. As sad as it is to say, their offense is better.
Hey,
their offensive line, maybe.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that group. The Bears finally started doing something last week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Clement got his. They started to filter it through. My question to you is Fred Warner. Is it buy low on Fred? Is Fred back?
I'm selling high, baby.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. I like
I'm selling high. So this is my sell high candidate. If you look at the tape over the last 5 weeks, right? Fred Warner played great this week. Don't get me wrong, but let's be real. The Panthers suck, bro. I mean, they're just absolutely trash. I mean, they have one of the worst offensive lines in football. Baker has the worst QBR in football next to Justin Fields. Even the pick six that Baker threw goes right through CMC's hands, which that would have been a first down. That's the difference in 14 points maybe. So it's just one of those things. He gets hurt. It'll be interesting how they play because, again, that offensive line is not good. I just don't know exactly what they're going to do. There's so many rumors about them fire selling right now. So
Buffalo and CMC, baby.
Burns is for sale. CMC's for sale. I mean, the entire team is for sale, is what it seems like. So it's kind of like the Seahawks. The entire team's for sale, even though they're. And thing is right now is the time to sell the Seahawks because they're playing well. Better. Yeah. I mean, Geno Smith has the best QBR in football right now. So there's that.
Hey, real quick, who was on the train before anybody else? Go ahead.
Oh, you were. And I hate it for a little bit. And don't get me wrong, is the one thing I do love about Geno Smith, he supports his military like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I am a massive aspect of that. Like, I'm a huge fan of him for that. It's like one of my very first retweets ever is Geno Smith about a military aspect.
They wrote me off, but I didn't write back. So
exactly. I mean, what that might be the quote of the year.
Facts.
Week 2. So
mic drop right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he's balling and on him. I mean, and he's looking for the receiver he needs to look for, and that's Tyler Lockett because that dude gets open everywhere. Bro,
he put that in the basket. That long bomb for a touchdown, like it was right there.
It looked like he almost threw it late too, and he still got it there. So, huge fan what they're doing, and now we get to see Walker every week. And I mean, Walker's averaging 6 yards a carry, bro.
Yeah, now I can start winning in Frankenstein.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, my buy low is Greenlaw, my sell high is Warner. Okay. So because his PFF grade's so good, I mean, and that's what you can talk about. Warner always is a great linebacker. He's not a great fantasy linebacker. So Greenlaw's a great fantasy linebacker, and Al Shair's out for the season. So Go get some Green. Yeah. Somebody offered me a 2-for-1 today on Greenlaw, Harrison Smith and Matt Milano, and I told him to pack sand. So
I love it.
All right. It's squatty potty time. Nino, let me hear that squatty potty top 5. Bottom 5.
So I'm gonna run it back from least of the bottom to the worst. He went from the top of the charts last week for me to the bottom of the squatty potty. We got Hassan Reddick. 1 tackle, 1 solo tackle, 1 sack. He had a tackle for loss and a QB hit. Got 8 fantasy points in standard. Another guy, he's kind of up and down this year. I had big hopes for him. It's Jaquan Brisker, safety out of Chicago. 5 tackles, 4 solo. That's it. He was on the field for 100% of the snaps. 6.8 fantasy points. Another guy I had high hopes for. Another rookie is Kayvon Thibodeau for the Giants. 3 tackles, 2 solo, 2 pass defenses. He was on the field for 81% snaps. Only had 6.8 fantasy points. And I can continue to do this. It's every other week. Khalil Mack. We had 2 tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle for loss. There's no Bosa. He's on the field for 85% snaps. He only had 6.8 fantasy points. And I wanted to hop on the train since every wide receiver that's facing him and roasting him on his own. I might as well roast Mr. Apple. He's getting smoked all year. 3 tackles, 3 solos on the field for 100% snaps. Gave up a touchdown. 4.5 fantasy points. I mean, this guy is just getting smoked left and right. It's crazy. It blows my mind. If you can go on Twitter and every week the wide receiver that's facing him, even Tua called him out. All right. He goes, if freaks on him, I'm getting him the ball. Smoked. Yeah. Eli Apple is terrible. He's rotting. Throw him away.
Eli Apple, though, did the most savage thing ever last year and sent Tyreek Hill take us to the Super Bowl.
All right. But bro, you're getting toasted. Like bad.
Yeah, I mean that's what he does. That's what he does. He gets toasted every week. I mean, it's just who he is. He could stay on there because even if he had 10 solo tackles 1 week, he'll probably
give up 3 touchdowns. Yeah,
so,
dude, he's terrible.
Yeah, so I'll give you on that. Khalil Mack definitely. Hey, we're seeing it with Bosa not there. Sell high like you would never believe. Like it's just sell right now. I mean, they need to bring somebody to come in and help him. Hey, let's talk about this real quick. Who would you rather have long term, Joey Bosa or Burns?
Oh, Burns.
Ooh. Yeah, probably Burns.
Now, here's my other question. Would you trade Burns for Bosa if you're the Chargers?
Oh.
I'm going to give you Bosa and a 3rd rounder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I said to you, this was the year he was healthy, right? And he was going to get 1-on-1. He was doing great. Then he got hurt. The health is a concern. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yep. So Khalil Mack's without a doubt a sell high for me. However,
I was going to say
sell low. Kayvon is a sell low, like buy low guy. Kayvon Thibodeau is a massive buy low guy. Who did they play?
The Giants. Giants got the Baltimore Ravens coming up this week.
Dude, I'm sorry, but that dude Lamar been sacked, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to where the Giants just beat the Packers, let's be real. My man don't get sacked. Aaron Rodgers did not get sacked. Love or hate it, like he just doesn't do it. Buy low. 81% of snaps from a defensive end. Give me that, bro. Give me. Come on. Especially when a guy who is that talented. He is that talented. Like, I mean, let's just put this out there. He has Bosa style in him. And I'm not talking about Joey. I'm talking about Nick. So Kayvon Thibodeau is the buy low candidate of the week for me, hands down. Go get him. Like, that's my dude. Jaquan Brisker, I mean, he's still pretty solid outing for him, to be honest. From a rookie, I'm okay. I'll take 4 solos all day. All right. Let's get straight to this. My man, Clutch Russ, who's your bottom 5 squatty potty?
Well, this week I got a couple guys that might be battling through some injuries. I mean, I got Manika Fitzpatrick, had 1 assisted tackle against the Bills. Granted, they were throwing the ball over the field. I was kind of hoping for maybe a couple more PBUs or an interception. Didn't quite happen. Been fighting through a knee injury. One of my other guys, Levante David, Tampa Bay linebacker, 7 fantasy points, 2 solos, 3 assists. Myles Garrett, I don't know if there's some lingering effect after that car wreck with that shoulder, but he had 2 solos, 4 fantasy points. Josh Allen, Jacksonville linebacker, DL, depending on your league, 5 fantasy points, 1 solo, 1 tackle for loss. And then is it Mike Edwards?
Yep.
Tampa Bay DB, 1 solo, 1 assist, which sucks about that is I just picked him up a couple weeks ago. And so I just need him to make through some bye weeks, but I wasn't quite looking forward to a down week. So I figured he'd be able to hold his own. But this week didn't quite happen. So he's on the squatty potty squad.
Overall, really like the list. I have Mike Edwards, Marcus Williams, who's now going IR with a dislocated wrist, and Derwin James. And I actually sat Derwin last week and played Mike Williams. I know, don't get me wrong.
Well.
It paid off.
Yes.
I mean, because I like to play better. I just didn't like to play Houston against Derwin. I just didn't love it.
But Derwin did well. Derwin did well.
Last week at 13 points.
And what did Mike have? 30?
34.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a better play. And Marcus Williams, I can't sit him because that was a good play for him too. Baltimore against the Bills last week. This week, I switched it up, put Derwin back in, sat Mike, didn't like Mike's play. It was a good play, obviously sitting him because he didn't do a thing. I just really didn't like Edwards. I told like 6 people that asked me, boom, 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 like, well, he's balling. I'm like, I get that he's balling, but the reason why I like Winfield better is because Winfield's going to play up close, and it wasn't going to be a passing game, weather and everything. I just didn't enjoy it. So, and Atlanta's trash, so there's that. They're just not going to pass the ball downfield. I didn't like the play.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, they need to figure it out because obviously Kyle Pitts is.
Yeah, he's there. He's there. He's just not playing yet. The answer is Mr. Ritter.
I don't think he's the answer either, but that's just me. Who knows what the answer is in Atlanta, but for me, none of those guys are. All right. We're going to get to my squatty potty squad. Let's just get right to these heathens. So first one that's been absolutely killing it was in a position where I really thought he would have a good game, but didn't. Rashawn Gary. I mean, let's be real. The Giants they're blocking really well, and I feel like they just stayed away from Gary. If you looked at it, and he had a tackle taken away from a penalty, was a 9-yard sack, so he could have had a great game. But 2 penalties took away 2 sacks from Rashawn Gary. So buy low. That's what I'm telling you right now. He was peaking, like, oh man, he's actually crap this week, and somebody might be down on him. Listen, that dude should have had 2 sacks. So buy low, Rashawn Gary. I understand you had a bad week. You're on a squad this week. Get off the squad. Tay Crowder had a monster week last week, career day last week. This week he went right down back to we flushed the toilet. Tay Crowder went back to normal. 3 total tackles and a tackle for loss. He almost had an interception that slipped through his fingers. That was a batted pass from Rashawn Gary, I think. So there's that. Actually, it wasn't Rashawn Gary. It was Devinder Campbell. Camu Grugier-Hill peaked week 1, just like Jerry Hughes peaked week 1. And we haven't talked about them ever since. Well, we're going to talk about him now because he had 4 total tackles. Good job, buddy. Against a team that he should have 8. Right? I mean, they won this game against a team that has been running the crap out of the ball and dominating people, and you have 4 total tackles? Come on, bro. Should have had all kinds of points for the Jags against the Jags. So sorry, buddy, you suck. Alex Highsmith didn't love the play this week. Okay, I get it, right? It's Josh Allen. and he knows you're the only guy on the football field, so he's going to stay away from you. So they ran away from him. They passed away from him. Just stayed away from him as much as possible. Alex Highsmith, 1 tackle, sack for loss, and it was like the 6th play of the game. So have a good day. I'm with you on the outside linebacker / defensive end. Josh Allen, 2 weeks in a row, has had a stinker, just absolutely stunk it up. And I'm a huge guy, don't get me wrong, but hated the play this week. Not a guy that I would have played this week personally, because Houston just hasn't been sacked a whole lot. I mean, Mills just, he's a quick snap, quick throw kind of guy. His offensive line is pretty decent. Damian Pierce has got 25 carries last week. That's who they are. If you're looking for a guy to make a splash against a team that's not against the Titans, defensive end wise, you might get one, right? Don't get me wrong, but don't expect it. That's just how I feel. The Jags didn't love the play. I wouldn't have played Allen. I actually didn't play him in like 4 leagues. One of our main leagues, I didn't play him in. Everybody's like, why would you sit him? He just had 30 points. I'm like, well, I just don't like to play. So, so those are guys that – now I wouldn't say that Josh Allen is a buy low guy because he's so consistent in general normally, but he's been like this the last couple of years. Last year, he was dominant, top 3 defensive end. The year before that, he was getting double teamed like crazy in his sophomore season because he had 10 sacks as a rookie. But you got to think who he had on his team as a rookie. He had Campbell and Ngakwe. So I expect him to have those numbers. So that's my 5 guys. What do you think?
Yeah, how bad is the Steelers missing TJ Watt? Man, that defense does not look the same. I mean, I know not very many people high on Miles Jack, somebody like Devin Bush. They're kind of they're not even middle of the road, but low 40s as far as linebackers.
A lot of playing time because their offense can't stay on the field.
Well, right, that's the only reason now. It used to not be that way. You'd get big plays because you get more pressure on the outside edges from TJ and Highsmith and Fitzpatrick and some of them other DBs getting some tip balls and interceptions. And now just the big play effect has kind of dwindled down a lot for the Steelers.
Yeah. They just haven't been good. I mean, that Najee doesn't look good. Jonty Johnson's average. Pickens balled by this week. I mean, he's the best receiver on that team, by the way.
Yeah. Tomlin surely gets to keep that job, right?
Oh, yeah. Tomlin's not done. This will be his first losing season.
Yeah, that seat's ice cold.
You know how people get when people start losing.
Yeah, that's the first time he's lost, right? It's his first losing season ever, right?
And it's the season ain't over.
Right.
I mean, it's not like the Bengals are crushing people by any means here. Right. You know what I mean? The Browns too. I mean, we don't know what Browns team we're gonna get. I mean, but the Browns could be 0-5 right now. I mean, 2 field goals in the end, closing seconds, and they're 0-5. So,
but they're not, and he comes back and he comes back in a few weeks, and it's a different Browns team. I assume.
Is it?
I assume. You see what I said? I assume.
I mean, we're gonna get the guy. I mean, we are talking about a guy who went 4-12.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying. I said I assume because that's what everybody assumes because it's guaranteed money. He's just going to come in and it's going to be Pro Bowl Deshaun Watson, right?
Remind me to send you this TikTok.
So
on why Deshaun Watson wants to trick with the Giants.
I'm going to go off the cuff real quick and ask you gentlemen 3 questions. The guys that are in the top 15 on whether they sell highs or holds. All right. L'Jarius Sneed, is he a sell high or is he a hold?
He's a hold for me, especially this week.
Russ,
look at his next 3 weeks.
I'd sell him.
Ooh, no, take head-to-head, baby.
Take advantage of that stuff if you need to get some other positions filled or whatever.
I'm gonna say this now. It's week 5, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We're coming to week 6.
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed has a better cornerback year than Kenny Moore did last year.
Ooh, that's
I like
spicy.
that. Spicy, yeah. All right,
Spicy.
Next one. Michael Walker from Atlanta, sell high or hold?
I'd sell high.
No. You're wrong.
Yes, I love it.
Tell me this. What's he got behind him?
Nothing. They just traded my guy.
Dion is in Cleveland, bro. I said this, and we can talk about this. You can go all the way back to our first show. I said as long as Michael Walker plays, he's a stud. When Deion Jones got hurt and Devinder Campbell and him were playing together, stud numbers. When Deion Jones got hurt again, Michael Walker came in, stud numbers. It doesn't matter who he plays with. That dude is a stud. And I don't know why they're not really realizing this. That dude, his missed tackle rates, like, I think he's like 85%, which is bonkers, by the way. Miles Jack is 51, just so we're clear. 51.
Yeah.
So,
and then I'm just last year he was I didn't get him, so there might be a little bit of that left in me. So don't get me wrong.
And then
you can ask Nino. Like people were blasting me in our main league because I'm why would you grab Michael Walker? I'm like, why not?
Yeah. I think if my guy can stay healthy, Jones in Cleveland, I think it's a better situation for him. Bigger guys up front, bigger holes, bigger gaps for him to run through. If he can stay healthy, that's the if is the size of the equator. But my last guy, Frankie Luvo. Sell high or hold?
He's a hold.
Russ?
Sell him.
Sell him. He's the number one linebacker in football.
Oh,
number one.
Number one, is he? No way.
He's number one and didn't even play this week.
Wow. All right. Ready? 2 cornerbacks. Jalen Ramsey.
Sell.
Buy low, sell high.
Sell as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tariq Woolen. Buy low or sell high?
Oof. I buy low.
Wow.
I didn't agree.
I'm a buy low on Woolen.
And then Nicholas Morrow. Nicholas Morrow. Buy low or hold?
I'm selling. I already sold him. So the number one reason is he's old, bro. Like, I mean,
that was your guy coming into it. My guy Hill is already.
He was my guy for one reason.
Roquan's just hold out.
Yes. And as soon as and don't worry, he's had some good games, right?
Yeah.
But there's a reason why this dude's on his third team. So I mean, sorry, bro. Like
Jack Jones, buy low. Patriots cornerback.
You can't buy low. Like
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
I mean, he's having a J.C. Jackson year already.
Under the radar. A lot of people aren't even thinking about it. I don't know, but
he got 2 interceptions in a row against 2
3 weeks. 3 weeks in a row. He's been dogging people
against good players. So that interception against Jared Goff was nasty, bro. Like
yes.
Getting 2 feet in where he was at, nasty.
And in this little bit of a window, it was crazy. That was my little. I wanted to throw it at you at the end.
I love that.
Yeah.
Really good group. So, gentlemen, we got the rest of the week.
Well, we got our show on Friday, which is going to be a big one for us. We got a couple people on there. We got college football on IG with us. We got Matt, the educator, football educator, on, and we also have a huge interview with Ball State running back Carson Steele. That's at 9:30. So, gassed up for that. That'll be a good time. Russ, what do you got going on this week?
Oh man, hopefully another Husker W and watching some NFL football. Kind of messing around with some quarter rankings to a little bit of degree. And man, I don't know if the big Hufanga or Max Crosby, it's got to be one of those two right now at the quarter mark as far as I'm concerned. But
here's my other question. Is Hufanga Rookie of the Year?
Absolutely.
Is he a rookie though? He played last year, like the last 5-6 games.
Oh, he did play last year.
Yeah. He started like the last 5, so I don't think he's a rookie.
I was sitting there thinking he's a rookie. I mean, Ufanga's having a great season, but it's Max Crosby right now.
Oh yeah, hands down. I mean, Max got all the chips.
At least the league is lost. Like, give me
He's
all.
He's a good dude. I mean, he's a good dude.
Oh, dude, and you know me, and I keep bringing this up, and I get the Nick Bosa one Rookie of the Year. If Max Crosby was drafted in the first round, he'd have been Rookie of the Year. Look at the stats.
Yeah.
I mean, he's winning. I mean, he's the steal of that draft.
Yeah.
In the 4th round, he got injured, had surgery on his wrist. I mean, that's the year they had Hard Knocks.
Yes.
So he like messed his thumb up, had that surgery, and still had 10 sacks. Like, come on, bro. Like,
just think if Colin Farrell would have been like half of what Max Crosby was.
Oh, they got what they wanted in that draft.
Nuts.
Defensive end is just not the guy they drafted 4th. So,
right.
So crazy.
I mean, and the guys that they passed on and that they went after, that just didn't work out. I mean, it's whatever. But
right.
Overall, great show, guys. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good show.
Always great show. Remember, we have our Patreon. Go check it out. We got 5 tiers. The 5th tier is where you're at. We have 2 guys that popped in, Steve Evans and Shane Hollum. We appreciate you popping in. The T2T Fanatic, you're in line for a possible chance to win a $100 gift card to fanatics.com. So check us out. Go in. If you watch the video later and you're in this, we're about that life. My trading for Debo or AJ Brown. Brown has a better quarterback schedule. Debo has a higher floor, full PPR. It's funny because I actually I made a trade for AJ Brown. Got told no. I watched Debo get traded today, and I'm about to piss you guys off because this is how it went. Well, this is Dynasty. We got a new guy in the league. Well, it's a new league anyway, but one of the guys is a savvy fantasy football player. The other one's not. Well, a guy needed a tight end, and he traded Debo Samuel. I'm glad you're sitting down for Pat Freiermuth and Devin Duvernay.
No picks.
No picks. See, Nino's face is basically everything that entire league did. Like, what in the hell happened? Everybody came at me like, this needs to be vetoed. Like, there's a veto button. It's crazy. It was a bad trade. And here's what's even worse. I offered Debo CD and Hurst 3 weeks ago, and he told me to pack sand. Thanks for not taking it.
I'm going AJ.
You're not taking it from me at this point, but you're an idiot. You know, I'm sorry. And sorry.
I'm gonna go AJ Brown in that deal. I'm still gonna take AJ Brown. Yeah,
I like AJ Brown too.
Dylan,
I don't know who Debo's gonna get next. You know,
exactly
forward.
Right. Dylan, DM me, Russ or Jarod, and we'll get you out a T2T keychain sticker pack just for throwing that comment out at the end. That was great. Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate you. All right, guys. Until next week. Let's go.